Namaste and Sat Nam, yogis. I'm Tracy, and this is Yoga Union, where people unite in a quest for wellness of body, mind, and spirit. Whether you're a yoga virgin or a seasoned practitioner, Tracy's Yoga Union has a place for your mat. So let's roll those mats out and get started. Today's practice will focus on our solar plexus, right around that navel center where our breathing takes place in any good yoga practice. It's called the Manipura Chakra, and its color is yellow. And we'll be envisioning the shape of a triangle. In our practice today, we'll also do just a very small restorative posture. So for that, you'll either need a yoga bolster if you have that. If you don't, no worries. You could grab a couple pillows or grab a pretty big blanket and roll it up. Set that off to the side, and we'll be using it at the end of our practice. As we get started, we'll begin on our backs. So begin to find yourself a comfortable position on your backs. Our practice today, if it's a little bit long for you, it would be a perfect one that you could divide up into two practices. You could do the warm-up and then the triangles in one setting. Come back and visit it the next day, do the warm-up and everything after the triangles as a second practice. So make it work for you. So we'll find a nice, comfortable position, resting on our backs, beginning to allow yourself to just sink into the floor. Bringing our focus first to the breath. Big inhale through the nose as we fill up the belly. Nice long exhale through that nose as we empty out the breath. And as we start to focus on our breath, our mind begins to quiet. And as that mind quiets and we settle into that breath, see if you can get an image of a triangle, first in your mind, and then envision that triangle here at the core of your body, your solar plexus, or the Manipura Chakra. You could even see that triangle filled with the color yellow. And to this image, we're going to add some breathing. And so with each part of the breathing, you're going to be drawing a different line of the triangle. And so in your mind's eye, imagine your finger on one point of the triangle. And as you draw the line of that first part of the triangle, we're going to inhale to a count of 3. So inhale, 2, 3. As we begin to draw the next line of the triangle, we'll hold our breath for a count of 3. So hold, 2, 3. And as we finish the last line of the triangle, We'll exhale. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold the breath. 2, 3. And exhale. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Continuing to draw the triangle with each part of our breath. Inhaling. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. And exhale. 2, 3. Keep going with our triangle breath, putting together a count, an image with inhales, suspending the breath, and exhaling. Finish one more round of triangle breath. And then we'll do a little bit of work here on our core. Some leg lifts. You might want to tuck the backs of your hands underneath your bottom, just for a little bit of low back support. And we'll start off easy. We'll inhale and lift the right leg. Exhale and lower it down. Inhale the left. Exhale as we lower it down. So the inhales are lift. Exhales lower. We want to keep the legs nice and straight. Our toes are flexed. So we're almost stretching out through the sole of the foot. We're going to use some control as we inhale and lift that leg and exhale and lower it down. So let's complete one more leg lift on the right side. And one more inhale and exhale on the left side. Now let's focus on just that right leg. So we'll inhale, lift. Exhale, lower without touching the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Again, not resting the leg on the mat as we lower. Just hovering it right there above before it hits. Still using the inhale as we lift. Exhale to lower. Pushing out through the soles of our feet. Creating some warmth, maybe even some fire in the core or solar plexus right there on the belly button. Let's do 3 more on this side. 2, 3. Lower that right leg down. Inhale. Exhale the left. Again, not allowing that left leg to rest. On that exhale. So it hovers right there above the mat. Nice straight leg, toes flexed, pushing out through the sole of the foot. And still keeping that right leg engaged, the toes of that right foot also engaged by flexing them out. 3 more on this side. 2 and 1. Press that down. And now we'll do double leg lifts. So we inhale both. Exhale down without completely resting the legs on the mat. So now we're really stoking the fire. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And all of those same principles applied here. Legs straight. Toes flexed. Really pushing out through the soles of our feet. Let's do 3 more after this one. 2 and 3. Press it down for a second. One last round of leg lifts here. We're going to hug those knees into our chest. Maybe readjust there on the backs of your hands. We're not going to bicycle here. We're going to piston or push out from each leg. So straightening and bending. Legs are slightly lifted. Inhaling, exhaling here a little bit more quickly. So each move, inhale, exhale, exhale. Still pushing out through the soles of those feet. Keep it up, almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Press those legs down. Let's hug those knees into our chest. Maybe draw a few circles. And then reverse the direction of that circle. Nice little massage on the back. And we'll rock and roll. Giving the length of the spine a real nice massage here. Bringing this around to tabletop. Lining up our shoulders and our wrists, knees and hips. Little cat-cow. So inhale to lift the chin, drop the belly. Exhale as we tuck the chin and round the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. So just as we did with the leg lifts, synchronizing breath and movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale as we round. And we'll bring that back to neutral. Pushing back up into our first downward dog. Making any movements here in the dog or no movements at all. Whether that's bicycling the legs, Kind of moving that dog forward and backward. Whatever you need to do here in that dog, just to lubricate, move things around a bit. When you feel good there, walk hands and feet together. Inhale halfway up, nice straight back, palms on our shins. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, lift those arms out and up overhead. Exhale, bringing those palms to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll step one foot back and then the other. Here's our plank. We'll lower down here. You could do so first with the knees, tops of feet, and then the rest of the body to prepare for Cobra. Arms in tight, tops of feet on the mat, forehead down. Inhale to lift head, neck, shoulders, tuck toes. Pushing back up into downward dog. Walking hands and feet together. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, bringing those through to heart center. One more round. Inhale, lift. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Step one foot back, then the other. Here's our plank. Lower down to the mat to prepare for Cobra. Inhale into that Cobra. Exhale and push back into our downward dog. Walk those hands and feet together. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale as we bring those palms to heart center. So continuing with that idea of a triangle shape. We're going to step our feet wide. You want the outer edges of your feet to be in a nice straight line with the shorter edge of either end of the mat. And here we want to have the legs straight, but maybe just a slight little bend in the knees, right? You don't want to hyperextend them or lock them back. Also, you might try just a little tilt forward of that pelvis. And what we're going to complete here are 36 triangles. We'll do 6 up and those same 6 down. So we'll have 6 different arm holds going in 6 different directions. So our arms will be changing. The rotation of our hips will be changing, but our feet and our legs will stay in the same position. So we'll start by clasping our arms and our fingers behind our back. Take a nice big inhale here and open up that heart center. Kind of rotating on those hips over to the right side. As you exhale, begin to hinge forward over that right side. Inhale to lift into a little back bend, rotating those hips over to the left. Exhale as we come forward, arcing those arms over. Inhale, lifting up, little back bend to center. Exhale as we hinge forward, arcing those arms up and over. Inhale lifts us to rise, back bend, hands on hips. Rotate those hips to the right. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Back bend, rotating on those hips to the left side. Exhaling forward. Inhale, lift. Little back bend. Exhale as we come through to center. Inhale up. We'll bring our palms to heart center. Rotate on those hips. Exhale over the right. Inhale to lift. Little back bend. Rotating. Exhaling to the left. Inhale to lift. Exhale as we come through to center. Inhaling to lift. Little back bend, moving our fingers to our shoulders. We inhale over to the right. We're exhaling to forward fold. Inhale, lift into that little back bend. Rotating over to the left and exhaling forward. Inhale, bringing it to center, little back bend. Exhaling as we come forward. Inhaling to lift. Arms out to a T. Exhale as we come forward over the right side. Inhale, lifting into a little back bend. Rotating and then exhaling over the left. Inhale up, little back bend. And exhaling through the center. Inhaling to lift. Bringing those arms up overhead. Inhale back. Exhale forward. You can clasp fingers here. Inhale to lift. Exhale over the left side. Inhale, lift. Little back bend. Exhale, bring it through the center. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release down. We'll walk those feet in, heel toe in. Kick those knees out. Halfway through. You could even end the practice here for right now. Restart it tomorrow with that warm up and going back through our triangles in the reverse order. So we'll step it wide again. Little tilt of those hips. Slight bend of the knees so they're not hyperextending back. Checking that the outer edges of our feet are once again nice and straight with the shorter edges of that mat. Inhaling those arms up overhead. Clasping those fingers, pointer fingers pointing towards the sky. Inhaling, little back bend as we rotate on those hips to the right. Exhale as we come forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale as that lower. Inhale, lift. Arms out to a T. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Fingertips on shoulders. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift with that little back bend as we rotate. Exhale over the left side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Bringing palms to heart center. Exhale, hinging over to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Hands on hips. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Clasping arms behind our back. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward to the left side. Inhale, lift that little back bend. Exhale as we come forward. Inhaling to lift. One last little back bend there. Heel toeing our feet in. Shaking those knees out. Let's find mountain pose and enjoy some resting breaths here in the mountain. Strong, stable mountain pose. Let's do one balance while we're standing. We'll do dancer's pose or king dancer. I'll turn to the side so you can see some different things here. And so any good balance pose starts first with that nice, strong, stable mountain, enjoying that stability. We'll start to bring some more weight into the left leg. Bending that right knee up. Grabbing on wherever it's easy and convenient. We do want to try and keep those two knees together. We could inhale that left arm up. And really lift up out of the hips here. This is dancer's pose. Keep it right here. Or we could start to hinge forward, separating those knees into king dancer. Remembering to breathe as we balance. Saving some energy, hopefully, for a nice graceful release of our dancer or king dancer's pose. And let's reverse that. So starting first with mountain, feeling strong and stable. And then beginning to put more weight into that right leg. Bending that left knee, finding that left foot. You can lift that right arm. At the same time, really lifting up out of those hips. Trying to keep those two knees together. And if you're feeling good in your balance, seeing if you can move into a bit of king dancer. Saving some balance for a nice release. And with any balance pose, can always make modifications. I have this nice buffet handy here, so I can grab onto that as I bring my knee up and grab onto either foot. So make the balance work for you. Also know that each side and each day will be very different for any yoga practice, especially those balance poses. So we'll come to the front of our mat, do one more sun salutation to bring it down. So inhaling, we lift those arms. Exhale as we hinge and fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Step one foot back. And then the other. Here's our plank. Coming down for Cobra. Knees first, tops of feet. Lowering the rest of the body down. Arms are in tight, elbows bent. Forehead resting. Inhaling, head, neck, chest and shoulders into Cobra. Tucking those toes to push back into our dog. And then we'll come down to all fours for dog. Do a few more cat-cows here. So inhale, lifting the chin and dropping the belly. Exhale as we tuck that chin and round the back. Inhales our lift. Exhales our round. Inhale, lift. And exhale to round. Bring that back to neutral. And let's push back into a child's pose here. Keeping those arms extended out in front. Really trying to create some space from the tips of our fingers to our tail here. So stretching out and trying to create some space between all the vertebrae of our spine. And then we'll inhale to release that child's pose. Coming to a seated position. Starting out first in staff pose. So for staff pose, our legs are nice and straight. Trying to make sure that as much of the back of the legs are touching the mat or the floor as possible. Our toes are flexed, they're pointing up. We're pushing out through the soles of those feet. Really lifting up through those hips. Leveling out that chin. Arms are at our sides, but we're not using our hands or our arms to support us. So that support is really here at our core, in that solar plexus. So you can even come back to that visual of the triangle filled with the color yellow. Straddle those legs just for one. Seated, forward fold. So almost imitating what we did in our 36 triangles here, but now we're seated. So pushing out still through the soles of those feet. Toes flex, they're pointing up. And just taking a few breaths here. We're going to do a seated forward fold here with our legs straddled. And the safest, easiest way to get there is just to start to walk those hands forward until you feel a gentle stretch. And maybe you stay in that position for a few breaths, for several breaths. You could walk it out just a bit more. You could fold at the elbows. See how that feels. You can come and rest that head on the top of your folded arms. Finding a spot that's comfortable, that gives you a bit of a stretch, but no pain. More importantly, really keeping those feet engaged, the legs engaged. Continuing to breathe. And on an inhale, we can gently begin to walk that in. Bring one leg in and then the other. Shake it out a bit. Could even give those knees a bit of a massage. Especially after our 36 triangles, you probably will have some soreness from that stretching and all of that movement in the back of the knees or somewhere around the knees. Won't be a bad soreness, it'll just be from working that part of the body in a bit of a different way. And so it'd be a good idea to make sure you drink lots of water after today's practice. So at this point we are going to use that bolster for a bit of restorative yoga. And restorative yoga uses props to help us hold a position for a longer amount of time. It's also very supportive. So instead of you holding up a certain area of the body and doing all of the work, we're going to let that prop do some of the work for us. And typically we hold our restorative postures 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So we're going to use the bolster today for a restorative bridge. So you want the bolster or your rolled up blanket or your pillows to be right there at the back of your seat. And we're just going to take a nice, easy fold over. And so the bolster is supporting us in the bridge pose. And so it's helping our back bend. Now if it's uncomfortable for your neck to hang, you could change the position of your armhole. And if that's not working for you, you could change the position of your bolster. So you would still get that back bend by moving the bolster so that it's long ways, still up against your bottom. Easing back on that bolster. And now with the bolster in this position, your head has somewhere to rest. So try both ways, see which is more comfortable for you. Making any adjustments. So that everything feels fully supported, comfortable. maintain whatever position you're in for about the next 3 minutes. You could come back here to that triangle breath. So inhaling to a count of 3 as you draw one line of the triangle. Holding the breath to a count of 3 as you draw another line of that triangle. And exhaling to a count of 3 as you draw the last line of that triangle. Gently, very gently release this restorative bridge pose. So you could start to push up on those elbows. And then hands. Move that holster to one side. Coming back down on our backs, hugging those knees into the chest. Making some circles with those knees, going one direction, and then the other. Let's bring those arms out to a T. Knees are still bent in at the chest. We'll inhale here. Exhale as we let those knees drop down to the right side. And turn our head to the left for a nice twist. Making any adjustments so that the backs of your shoulders are touching as much of the mat as possible. And you can bring that hand on top of that bent knee to help increase that twist just a bit. Use an inhale to bring those knees and head to center. And an exhale to reverse that twist. Again, making any adjustments to get the backs of the shoulders on your mat. Increasing that twist by placing your hand on the top bent knee. You're seeing if that exhale lets you sink just a bit further into the twist. Using an inhale to bring head and knees to center. Maybe one more round of circles with those knees. Notice how that gives a nice massage to the low back. Knees still bent, feet down to the mat. Arms out to the side. Let our knees drop out to either side, keeping the soles of the feet together for a few breaths in reclined butterfly. Really focusing on some big inhales to fill up that belly. Nice long exhale as we bring that belly button back to the spine. Extending that right leg, left leg, and here we are in Shavasana, our final relaxation. Scanning the body. If you are holding tension anywhere, breathe into that and try and let it go. Maybe noticing any parts of your body that feel more awake, more alive. And then simply enjoying Shavasana. Quiet body, quiet mind. welcome to stay in our Shavasana for as long as you can stay conscious in this position. And when you're ready to end the practice, start to deepen the breath. Bring some slight movements back. Maybe even a nice full body stretch. Stretching up fingertips to toe tips. Bringing the soles of our feet together and palms together at heart center. Rubbing soles and palms to create some heat and grounding. Float. Rock and roll a couple more times. Come back to that cross-legged, easy seated pose. Inhaling arms up overhead. Exhaling those palms to heart center. Namaste.